Hey everyone, welcome to your monthly outlook. My name is Tecce and I'm the illustrator and creator of Shadowlight Tarot. Today I will be taking a dive into the energies to best understand what is going on, utilizing my self-published and hand illustrating tarot deck. If you're unfamiliar with the tarot deck, this was crowdfunded last year and features 88 cards, all hand illustrated, including the booklet. Every single letter, every single line was a work of art that I was passionately able to not only create into the world, but to build upon all the tarot decks that have come beforehand. It features several infinite suits that all form a panoramic image, not just from one end to the other, but infinitely around. Aside from this is all coming together and included in a nice magnetic box with its own tarot travel pouch. For those who are looking for a smaller size deck, I also have released Wanderlight Tarot, which is another deck which is more of a companion but yet travel size, as it also features the planetaries as well as the elementals. Some of these decks include some extra cards that are not just associated with the 78 traditional tarot cards. So if you're looking for more information or just curious to find out more, please feel free to check out the website below or the link included to the shop. I will also be offering an extended reading to the most viewed zodiac sign this month. So if you want to co-harmonically help this channel grow, as well as spread the messages, please feel free to reach out to your communities, to share the link with those who resonate, and to assist in having this energetic manifestation come to be. If you're interested in finding out more, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, where many of my artworks, illustration, time lapses, nature footage, talks, lectures, and so much more are available for viewing ad-free. It is something I personally believe in, and I don't want you to experience something I personally would not want to. So as a respect to each and every viewer, all of my content is of my own, all of my content is ad-free and is not monetized, and it's all thanks in the support of you guys. So if you want to see this grow and you want to help out, every little bit helps. So feel free to share, feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe. This is all thanks to the organic growth that you are participating in through witnessing this video, resonating, and sharing for others to witness. I thank you very much, and I very much look forward to this monthly reading with you. Now, without further ado, let's take a dive into these cards. Hello Pisces, and welcome to your October 2019 monthly outlook. We're going to take a dive in and let's do a shuffle now as you're listening to really see what kind of insights and messages may be provided for the Pisces resonances during this month, so that they may tackle and handle whatever comes towards them at the best of their ability and their truest of self. Allow this to be in their highest of nature and to provide new perspective for whatever may come their way. So, to open up this month, we are provided this Five of Cups. So when you're dealing with the Five of Cups, when you're opening up an energy on a new moon, maybe it's something that you just came out of something where now it's a period of mourning and you're walking into a new cycle focused on these Three of Cups that have fallen, and you're missing out on these Two Cups that are present behind you. Now the thing is, that is all purely perspective. So this card likes to be a kind of little reminder not to get too caught up on the pessimistic end of things. Maybe there is Three Cups have fallen, and it's okay to mourn, and it's okay to see that maybe you have these emotions and to process them and to work with them. And it could be a parting of ways of things, or maybe something has changed that have left you in this situation. But to know that you have two remaining cups that are able to hold this vessel and to hold such emotional totality, you are not completely wiped, and it is not something to completely mourn as if it's all gone, because it's merely three of the Five Cups. You're still left with a good amount to really build forward. And even if you received one cup thereafter, that already exceeds more than half of what you're just standing. So even if you're looking at a loss, realize the potential of what can be. But if you're opening up this month, it could be that you're seeking this reading because you feel like you're processing these emotions. Maybe it is that this reading is supposed to bring the focus so that you can respectfully mourn, understand what's going on, but at the same time too, give yourself a healthy boundary so that you don't get caught up in that negative point of view. Not for the sake of trying to get out of it, but you got to find balance. You can mourn, but do not let it take over your life, because it can hold you back from the potential of these Two Cups, which are still awaiting for you to have and to enjoy and to have a part of you. But we're not able to see this figure, and it's very dark, and
in a degree, it might seem that what we're wanting is out of reach. And it may be unfortunate the circumstances that have dawned upon you, but allow this to be just the opening of the month ahead. So to gain some more clarity, let's pull the next card to better understand where you're heading. So this is actually very positive. So as I was leading up to here, because of this Five of Cups morning and things are, maybe you're focused on these negative attributes, as soon as you realize that you have these 2 cups, here's this Ace of Cups. Like I said, you now have 3 cups here that already not only equivalent what you have lost, but is already building up to be more than half of what you had. So see this as progress. Not only have you allowed this to happen and mourn, but now you're opening up a brand new cycle of this emotional journey that you're about to partake on by opening, connecting. Maybe someone's coming into your life, or maybe there's a new connection formed, or maybe there's a new way of feeling and dealing with your emotional self. So since the Pisces is a very emotional energy and you've already received these 2 cups already, it seems that this emotional domain may be a priority this month, and it's turning within to understand that so that you can work with it. And if you're feeling that this cups is something of a burden beginning of the month, keep in mind, if you're tuning in right now, that this cups here, this Ace of Cups, is really showing you that something new is awaiting you. And it might just be that it's okay to really mourn what you had, but as soon as you're willing to be open for it, you're able to welcome in something brand new. Not just for the sake of you, but for the totality of who you wish to be. So that's beautiful right here. And as that moves forward, let's take you into the full moon. So now maybe this full moon energy is telling you that you get too caught up in your head. You might be able to start a new emotional journey, but don't let that doubt yourself. Don't get too caught up on the anxiety. And if you're being too taken away by the thoughts in your head or the processes or the things that are stressing you or bothering you, I recommend this as a practice. I believe Sagittarius also received a similar reading to this, and I recommended that if there's things bothering you, if you're having trouble sleeping, or if you have too much on your mind and it's actually affecting your life, I recommend a practice by writing all of the things that you wish to express, whether to other people or just in general, down with pencil on newspaper. The reason I say pencil on newspaper, because you're not supposed to read it. Don't. This is a practice that allows you to release the things that you're holding on to. Now, once you write that all down, do not reread it, because then you will become welcoming it into your awareness. So take it after writing it down. Don't read it and just burn it. Now, this will act as almost magic to transmute what it is that you just released and allow it to be given up to universe so that it can all work itself out. And at the same time too, may release some of the burdens that you metaphorically feel on your shoulders. So I recommend that for anyone who's experiencing something that is a little harder to deal with, but it's the perfect time that if you're at this full moon energy to deal with anxiety, that as soon as it starts to wane, that is a form of releasing. So any window between this full moon and this new cycle that will begin, you utilize this time to really release, to let it go, and to overcome things. You might get too caught up in your head, and it could be the reasons of your own accord, or it could be something that just keeps bothering you and it's not okay. But realize that there's only so much we can do within our control, and that our emotional mental health is important as well. And sometimes that we get bothered by things and get caught up in things might not be for our best of our ability, but if we do, that we are individuals can work with it, can process it, and utilize it to allow ourselves to grow as a soul level, so that we can really transmute this energy and to move forward in our lives in a way that will bring the most abundance possible. Now, because we got this Ace of Cups, you have a new emotional connection opening up. And that's very important, because if you're dealing with this, don't get too caught up on the what ifs. If you're dealing with, do they care? Do they think this? Anything that is not just like tangible, but more just like a fear or something that's fear-based, don't let that take away from something that you're about to begin, because this is a new beginning and it's opening up for you so that you don't have to lose your cups, so that you can really fulfill yourself abundantly. Just as this cup overfills here, you're able to take your cups and bring it to it so that you yourself can begin this new journey. And it's very important for you. So as we continue through this full moon, you're given, okay, so you're provided this Five of Pentacles. Now, if you're coming off this anxiety card here, which is the Nine of Swords here, you might not have successfully dealt with it, that you are feeling like you're in a place of lack. Normally in the Rider-Waite deck, this is two individuals walking in front of a church that just do not have a place to stay and feel tribeless. And this person is too focused on losing the last coin and realize that what they really need is this pentacle blanket behind them to really keep them warm. Now, the idea of value is dependent on the individual. If we get too caught up on losing the wrong values, we might get caught up to realize that what we're looking for, what we may need, might be just around the corner, and to have that hope and to let this light shine in so that we can see those opportunities. But to get too caught into what we're losing can very much bring us back into this anxiety-driven energy that you also can see resonating from this Five of Cups. If that's going to be the case, you got to work with this. You got to work through it in a healthy manner. Ignoring it and falling into it can leave a deep depression. But the longer you allow yourself to dig deeper, the harder it will be to climb yourself out of. So realize the extent that maybe it's just all a cycle too. Maybe the things that are coming to an end, or the hardships that are present for you, are due to the anxiety that is driven. And maybe the anxiety isn't just purely from what is coming from within you, but is your external world providing this anxiety. And it might not be comfortable for you, especially dealing with the hardships as the moon wanes. So it's not the easiest to have this, but this is merely just a card of perspective. Unlike this is a haunting card that can keep you up at night. This is purely from the state of how you feel. This is just feeling like you don't have enough, that lack. But to realize that it's actually right around the corner, or you're not seeing all perspectives, is pretty much the parallel to why this Five of Pentacles can be related to this Five of Cups. So if this is going to bridge you from the full moon to the new cycle, this takes you all the way to this Page of Cups. So that's actually not too shabby, that you're opening up here, bringing these new sets of cups to welcome a new journey. And even though you might deal with some anxiety towards the full moon, and there might be a perspective of hardship, to realize that it's not all terrible. If you get too stuck up in the pessimism, this is what's going to manifest itself. And maybe you got to go through it so you can appreciate the better end of the spectrum. But I think that if you're giving this in insight form, that these hardships, for example, I can pull this card for myself and realize that it's just me beating myself up, or the hardships of feeling that I'm being out in the cold, or any of the such. These types of perspectives come from this card, but this is merely just one aspect of it all. So if you're receiving this nice Page of Cups at the end of it all, even with all this taking place, you can remove this Five of Cups, this Five of Pentacles, and this anxiety card of the Nine of Swords, to realize that because you have a new opening journey here of emotionalness, that this Page of Cups says, open up, reach out, and express your emotions. These things are meant to be shared for those who are closest to you, and to allow yourself to take time to actually propose the first moves necessary for the emotional connection you're building. Maybe it's necessary that you so caught up of the what ifs of the scenario that you don't even consider that maybe moving forward will dispel any of these hardships that you feel that you're facing. Merely just a perspective you had, an anxiety in which you're driving yourselves off of fear, to realize that this Ace of Cups is still unfolding, and that this beautiful card here is going to open up for some sort of new connection, or something that is more grander than you're willing to see. Because these cups are now lost, you are instantly brought into a new cup, in which you're also presented at the end with someone who's willing to really raise their glass for you, to reach out and communicate, and to open up on the very nurturing nature of what it feels on the emotional body. And maybe it's you on your own emotional self, or another individual affecting you. Or it could be, like I said earlier, you finally reaching out to the individual you're connected to, so that you can express yourself and really say what you want to say, because it might take you where you needed to go. So this is a really ranging month in terms of being able to understand that new possibilities in the emotional realm is possible, but to not get too caught up where you're going to get anxiety. And the pessimism is something to look out for. Try to see the silver lining at possible. And as I've mentioned earlier in the video, if things truly are bothering you, try a releasing practice, whether it's for your own sake or just to give it a shot because you're too bothered by everything else. to see what works for you is ideal. So I hope that this can provide you insight on your journey this month, and that anything that has been provided to you will really help you to take it on at the best way possible. I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful month ahead of you, regardless of what you may be caught in, because there are some beautiful things occurring if you allow it. So be positive and truly shine at your truest. So thank you very much, and
Again,
enjoy.
thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you not only experiencing what I bring into the world, but to partake in something that I find personally special. As somebody who has created a deck and someone who's passionate about the project, to do the reading in my own words and my own perspective not only offers a more elaborate, deeper dive into the essences and the symbols these cards represent, but it's an opportunity for me to connect with others as well, to share my deck out there and to offer the messages that these divine divination tools are great for utilizing. So if you're interested, feel free to continue to share and subscribe to check out new videos that are on the way. I'm trying to do both lectures, readings, as well as art on the channel. So please help it grow by each and every view, each and every subscribe, and each and every share. That helps make it possible thanks to all of your organic growth. I thank you very much, and I hope to see you next time. As always, stay true.